We got our Meadowfoam honey. What's going on, guys? I don't normally do this, but this is going to be a little disclaimer. The video you're getting ready to watch is part 1 of 3 of me making a s'mores mead. As of right now of filming this, I am in between filming episodes 2 and 3. When we get to episode 2, I make a huge mistake that I don't know if is going to completely ruin this batch. So, just disclaimer, you won't see it in this episode, but when we get to episode 2, don't do as I do. The me you're getting ready to see has no clue the screw-ups I'm going to do. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy part 1 of 3 of our s'mores mead. I will catch up to you in episode 2, which should be releasing about a week after this episode. Follow the channel, like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on to get the updates for when the episodes release. Now, let's continue on with our regular broadcast. We got this from Flying Bee Ranch out of Salem, Oregon. They have, I think, the best price point on Meadowfoam honey that I have found anywhere. And I actually found them through a homebrewing page on Facebook. Someone suggested them. But if you are unfamiliar with what Meadowfoam honey is, we are making a s'mores mead. And what's the ingredients in s'mores? Well, you have graham cracker, you have chocolate, and you have marshmallows. So I have the graham cracker and I have the chocolate. So I was kind of perplexed how to get the marshmallow. That's where this comes in handy. Meadowfoam honey is known for tasting like vanilla or toasted marshmallows. And I didn't believe it. I was like, and it's not a flavored honey. This stuff literally tastes like a toasted marshmallow.
Blew my mind.
So Flying Bee Ranch out of Salem, Oregon. Like I said, I'll put their contact information over here. Highly recommend them. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not sponsored by them. I paid full price for my honey, which when I say this is the best price point for Meadowfoam honey that I found, just the honey itself. So this is 2 pounds. This is 3 pounds. $70. $70, not including shipping. $70 worth of honey right here. That's all I wanted to film tonight. We will start our s'mores mead tomorrow. So I'll see you, for me, it'll be tomorrow, but I'll see you in 2 seconds. We're going to start our s'mores mead. Firstly, everything on my table you can't see. Everything you see me grabbing, everything I'm using, stirring, anything that touches the liquid, it has all been sanitized by Star San. Firstly, let me get my yeast started hydrated. Yeast, as always, that we are using is Lalvin K1V 1116. It's my go-to. I've always used it. I prefer it. So what I'm using, of course, is I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of GoFerm. I know, kind of been on the fence with not using this anymore. I figured I bought it. I might as well use it up the rest of the way. And plus, this is a mead, so there's not really much nutrient-dense material in fermentation. It's just going to be honey and water. So I want to give the yeast the best chance it has to build a strong colony. We are going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of GoFerm, and then we're going to use a half a packet of Lalvin K1V 1116 yeast. For 1 gallon batches, I use half a packet. And we're going to set this off to the side and forget about it. The recipe. So s'mores, as I said previously in the video, is marshmallows, chocolate, and graham cracker. I already showed you that I had all the things I need for those flavor profiles, but at the start of this fermentation, it's just going to be the honey and water, and we're going to ferment that to what ABV we want. And then we're going to use our rumble jar that you saw in our chocolate covered cherry video, and we're going to use probably 1/3 cup again of Creo brew and let that sit for about 2 weeks. See if we get the chocolate flavor consistency that we're liking. So for primary, we're using a 3-pound container of Meadowfoam honey. Everyone that I've talked to, everyone that has used it before, says that once you ferment dry, the marshmallow flavor's gone, so you need to back sweeten. So I'm going to use 3 pounds of honey to ferment, and hopefully it will ferment dry. Once it ferments dry, we are going to back sweeten with Meadowfoam honey to bring back that marshmallow flavor that this honey is known for. So that is why I got a 3-pound jug and a 2-pound jar. I have intention of back sweetening this to a probably relatively sweet. I mean, it's s'mores, so it's got to be sweet in the dessert mead category. So we'll back sweeten, probably not with the whole 2 pounds. Probably only use a little over a pound because I'm probably going to want to get it back up to the 1.030 range, if not a little sweeter. So that's what this one is used for, is for back sweetening. So we can set this off to the side and forget about this until whenever I make the video of the back sweetening. This is the Little Big Mouth Bubbler. This is the siphonless version, so it has a hole right here that you put a spigot into. And to be honest with you, I barely ever use the spigot. I still use an auto siphon, but it is handy if I do have a brew that has a lot of solids in it. This does come in handy. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting this spigot in place to get our seal on the jar. And it has been sanitized, but we're going to sanitize it again and you get to see. So like I said, when I'm just doing like a 1 gallon batch, I'll use my spray bottle. Really get every part of it. Swirl that little bit of sanitizer around, and I'll set it upside down over here. I need to weigh out 3 pounds of honey. This already is 3 pounds, but yeah, so let's not weigh it. Let's just wing it because we know a pound of honey and a gallon of water will raise the gravity 0.035 points. 3 pounds, yeah, it'll be close to 1.100, 1.110, somewhere in that range. But I'm going to dump all this out, then fill this with water, shake it up, dump it in so that I'll get the full 3 pounds. And I'm just under a gallon of water. I think I'm trying to shoot for like 96 fluid ounces of water, 3/4 of a gallon. So I'll just measure this so I know exactly if I add the entire contents of this pitcher or what I put in the pitcher, I'll know an exact amount of water that I used because I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be making this again. So we got 96 fluid ounces of water here. We know that a pound of honey generally is 11 fluid ounces of volume. 3 pounds should be about 33 fluid ounces around. And I'm at 96 fluid ounces. It'll be what it is. I should have written all this down beforehand, but I didn't. And since we're not measuring anything because this is 3 pounds of honey, again, I do want to give a big shout out to Flying Bee Ranch. I had just seen through word of mouth about this place, and I really think I'm going to be doing a lot more business with them when it comes to like specialty brews or like a specialty mead I'm going to try to make. Definitely check out Flying Bee Ranch. I'll link them in the description of this video. I think I've already put a thing up about their website, so just go check them out if you're into mead making or if you just like good quality honey. But first, gotta get a taste of the honey. That is nuts how that literally tastes like marshmallows. All right, before we add anything to this pitcher, you want to make sure if you have the siphonless version that your spigot is in the off position, not the on or open position. We're going to go ahead and add the entire contents of the honey. You could heat up the honey. That would speed this process along quite nicely. I didn't have time. I will say this is going to be the most expensive brew I think I've ever made. Looking forward, intentions are when this is bottled, I'm not bottling this in 750 milliliter bottles. I think I'm going to be putting them in like 325 milliliter, just like a half a wine bottle, because I think it's going to be so sweet. Unless you're doing it with a large group, you wouldn't want a whole 750 milliliter bottle of this. I mean, unless you just really like s'mores, if I can get it to taste like s'mores. So we're down to a drizzle here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take water from my 96 fluid ounces because I already measured it, so I know that's how much there is. I'm going to add some to here. And generally, I would want this water to be warm. This water is not. It's room temperature. Give it a shake. So I'm also aerating this water, this part of the must, so that'll help let the yeast develop a strong colony. They need oxygen at the beginning of a fermentation. I'm sure I've said that in probably every video I've made. We're going to get every last bit of this Meadowfoam honey into our fermenter. Yeah, I would say we got every little bit of that honey. So now we're going to add our water to this, and I got it. If you know, you know. All right, so now we're just going to add our water. As always, is to aerate or oxygenate or however you want to say it. Incorporate oxygen into the must. So I'm going to do a time lapse of me stirring this because this is going to take a while, and I'll see you whenever it's done. All right, so we're pretty well mixed. I knew that because when I pulled the spatula out, there was no globs of honey on the end. Made sure there was none on the bottom, so we're pretty much mixed through. So now let's get a gravity reading and take some notes and see where we're sitting. All right, I started a little higher than what I wanted at 1.112. Now we got our gravity reading. That's just nuts. It smells like marshmallows. That is so crazy. All right, so next we're going to add a half a teaspoon of Fermaid O. And we're just gonna mix that in. Because now it's not gonna smell like marshmallows anymore. Now it's gonna smell probably like cheese. I think our yeast is good to go. So we're going to give it a nice little mix. And now we're just going to pitch our yeast. Just like that. And then we're going to throw a lid on this bad boy. And starting one of these, if it's just a mead and I don't have much nutrient base, there's not fruit in there to really kick off fermentation, I'm going to put this on the warming pad, which is just a little warmer I have to keep carboys warm because it does get kind of chilly down here, but it's generally stays around 68 degrees to 72 in my basement. So this is going to go on the heating pad and we're just going to let it sit for probably 2-3 weeks. We'll do a reading here probably in about 2 weeks, or when I see that airlock has slowed down in activity, which doesn't mean it's done, but and then when we do our reading, then we're going to be bowling out the rumble jar because I'm going to do all the additions with the chocolate in primary. So when I rack off into a 1 gallon carboy, I'll have less headroom. So I want to do all the kind of messy stuff kind of at the beginning, because after the chocolate is added, the only additions to it are just liquid graham cracker extract and more honey. It shouldn't have any sediment that would fall out when I add those. It worked very well for the chocolate covered cherry. Now I got to clean up my mess and put this on the heating pad, and I'll give you an update in a couple weeks. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. See you then.